Hey guys, welcome back to Tutoring. My name is CL, and this video is going to be a continuation of what I did last week with the College Panda SAT math questions. This week I'm going over the next 4 questions, and tomorrow or the next week I'm going to have the final part of this walkthrough covering all 12 questions and how to go through them. I've left a link in the description to these questions below, so if you want to pause the video and do those questions by yourself and come back to this video, feel free to do so. In addition, I also left a link for Care Tutoring in the description below, so if you're interested in receiving free tutoring for AP, IB, SAT, ACT, A-levels, or pretty much anything, sign up with the form below and we will check your eligibility. So, without further ado, let's begin. Let the function f be defined by f of x is equal to 8x squared plus 18. If a is a positive number such that f of 2a is equal to 3 of fa, what is the value of a? So in order to first set these two equal to each other, let's plug in the variables. So if we have f of 2a, so the original function is going to be this above. If we just plug in 2a for every single place we see x, we're going to have f of 2a is equal to 2a. Make sure to write that in parentheses, plus 18. And then now let's square that. So that's going to be 4a squared plus 18. And then now let's go on to 3 times f of a. So it's going to be 3 f of a is equal to 3 times the original function with a plugged in. So it's going to be a squared plus 18. Now we distribute, so that's going to be 3a squared plus 54. And now we set those two equal to each other. So 3a squared plus 54 is equal to 4a squared plus 18. And now we just bring them over to the other side. We have the variables towards one side and the constants towards the other side. So that crosses out, and we have 36 is equal to a squared. And now we just take the square root, and let me just do it over here. A is going to be equal to 6 if we take the square root of that. Okay, so the next question is talking about median. We have 6 computers for employees costing $1,600 each, 4 costing $1,200 each, Y costing $900 each, and what we're trying to find is Y. So in this case, what we have to do is set up our list of numbers right here. So the typical way we solve for median is we list the numbers from least to greatest, and we just cross out least and greatest. So let me just write everything here. So we have 4 computers costing $1,200 and 6 costing $1,600. And I'm just gonna write 16 because you could just add zeros later. So we have 6 numbers here. So we just cross the first one, cross the greatest one, least, greatest, least, greatest, least, greatest. So now we're just left with the average, which is going to be 16. But one other way we could also solve for the median is by using this formula. So how I would solve this problem is figure out what is the median first, and then move along the number line. And I'll show you how to do that now. So in order to solve for the median, what we need to do is figure out how many numbers we have in the set. So we're starting with 10 numbers in the set. So what we need to do is n plus 1 over 2. So in this case, what we're going to have is 10, because that's the amount of numbers, number of values. So we're going to have 11 over 2, which is 5.5. So that's going to be our median. So let's go from the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So it's going to be like in between. And whenever you get a half value for a median, that means you just take the average of these two numbers. Okay, so if our median starts here, what happens if we add another number? Let's say 9, because that's what we're adding on to the set. So if we have 9, then what our total number of values increases to is 11. So we have 11 plus 1, over 2, and that's going to be 6. Okay, and now let's go change this color. And now our new modified median would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be a 6 number. So every single time we increase a number or we add a number where the number is 900 to this set, our median moves by like half in value. So in order to get to 12 as what is the greatest possible value of y? So what is the greatest amount of $900 computers that we can add to this set that the median will still be 1200? So let's just move on. Okay, so this is 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's going to be halves here. So we actually can add 9 $900 computers to the set, and we will still be left with 12 as the median, or 1200 as the median. So as a result, 9 is going to be our answer. Okay, so the next problem deals with circles and tangent lines. So in this case, what we're going to first do is figure out what we're solving for, and what we're solving for is the slope of line L. And where is line L? Line L is going to be this line right here. So in order to find the slope of this line, first we need to find the slope of the line that's perpendicular to it. And how we can do that is we have this point here. So if the x-coordinate is 3, then we can also solve for the y-coordinate. So we start at the origin, which is going to be 0, 0. And if we plug in the x-coordinate of 3 into the equation of the circle, then we get 3 squared plus y squared is equal to 25. Now we just subtract on the other side. So y squared is actually going to be equal to 16, y is equal to 4. And now we have the premise for the slope. So the slope of this line going from the origin to C that line is going to be 4/3 if you use the slope formula, y2 over y1 x2 minus x1, and you just subtract this. So it's 4 minus 0, 3 minus 0. But in this case, what we're looking for is the slope of the line that's tangent, so perpendicular lines. In order to find the slope of the other line, what we need to do is take the negative reciprocal, and that's going to be our slope. And that's it. And lastly, the last question is going to ask us about special right triangles. We have a video covering this on our YouTube channel also. But essentially what we're going to do is recall our properties of special right triangles, which is also on the reference sheet for the SAT. So if we remember, the special right triangle is going to have x rad 3, and this is just going to be x, and this is going to be 2x. So x is replaced with a value. In this case is going to be 3 on the bottom, and everything else you can solve using this template. And for 45, 45, 90 triangles, you have x, x, and x rad 2. So in this case, what we're going to do is, using this, we're going to find this side. And then now once we found that side, we can go to this triangle and find this side, and that's going to be 6. So 6 is going to be our x for this triangle. And we also know that's going to be 6 there because that's a 45-degree angle also. And lastly, we have this last side, 6 rad 2. And that's going to be our final answer. That's it for me today. And if you have any more questions, be sure to leave it down in the comments below. Also, a reminder to sign up for Carrot Tutoring, where we offer free tutoring services to those who are eligible. And see you guys next time.